Hey, crew, welcome back to another episode of the Skippy Report. In this episode of the Women in Telemark Skiing, I sit down and talk with Helen Burkart. And she's presently living in the Catskills of New York State. She's from originally the Lake Tahoe area in California, growing up skiing in Heavenly. Big difference between the West Coast and the East Coast. And she's recently taking up telemark skiing and is enjoying it so much and wants to spread the love and support other people, especially women. And that's how I first noticed her activities on Instagram. Anyway, so grab yourself a beverage, get yourself comfortable, and enjoy this episode of The Women in Telemark Skiing featuring Helen Burkart.
Hello.
Hello, Helen. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Good morning.
Yes.
Almost afternoon, but
Good.
still morning.
Well, you know what? At least I'm on the same time zone as you are, because my previous couple have been 14 hours difference.
Yeah.
So it's nice to meet you.
How's your morning been so far? Yeah, you as well. Thanks so much for reaching out.
Yeah, no, you know what? I saw what you were doing, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get Helen's message out there and tell us a little bit about yourself. So I think that's great. All the energy that you're putting into women telemark skiing.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. We're, I'm down here in the Catskills, so we're just trying to get some ladies together and build a community. And I've been very fortunate that I've had an amazing group of people extend their kindness and hospitality to me to learn how to telemark. And so I kind of want to pass that along and bring
awesome.
more people into our group.
So the official welcome is welcome to the Women in Telemark Skiing series. And I have Helen Burkart.
Yes.
Awesome. And as you said, you're in the Catskills. So which part of the Catskills are... I'm not very familiar with the Catskills areas. I'm more of the Adirondack and the Green Mountains and White Mountains guy.
Yeah, that's okay. So I'm about 15 minutes from Bel Air, which is our closest ski mountain.
Yeah.
Maybe just over 3 hours from New York City, along the Hudson. So
okay.
It's good access to the city and, big city life, but tucked away in the woods, and then have great skiing and snow at Bel Air.
That's very cool. I think my forefather, who came to Canada almost 400 years ago, spent some time down in that area.
It's beautiful.
He was more in the Mohawk Valley.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just south of us, which is also beautiful and has some great climbing, as I'm sure you know.
No, I don't know anything about that area because I've only gone down to Syracuse on Interstate. What's that? 81, I think. No, 80.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 81. And then gone to Albany and then scooted across to Mount Snow.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Toward the west.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're maybe an hour and 20 minutes from Albany if you're going back roads through the farmland, but then up cool. into the Catskill Mountains. So
very cool.
Accessible, but also beautiful and rural and remote, which is a great combination.
Yeah, that pictures that I see of the Hudson Valley look very beautiful.
Yes, especially as I'm sure you also have up where you are, but the leaves, the fall is where it truly shines, but also the summer. It's we're starting to get leaves on our trees and the buds, and so that bright lime green is coming out and really popping.
I remarked to my wife last night when we went up to Peterborough, a town 30 minutes north of us, and I commuted by bicycle for 30 years to work, and there's a hill that in the fall is just absolutely ablaze with all the colors, but I miss riding every morning and seeing this hill in the spring because it's got that kind of an angelic or a ghostly glow of all of the blossoms and the small, very green leaf buds coming out. Yes.
And it's such almost a hopeful time because sometimes it can be a little gray out here on the East Coast during the winter. And so when you finally have the transition, even if it's still gray out, but to start seeing that color come back, at least for me, provides a lot of hope.
I guess, you know what, now that you said that, I guess that's why spring skiing is so huge in the East. And with all the tailgating and
Right.
yeah,
Yes. It's so funny that you mentioned that, the tailgating, because I think, as you saw from my original pass, I am from the West Coast. I'm from Lake Tahoe,
yes,
where it's tailgating season year round when skiing. And when I first moved out here and was speaking with my husband about maybe one of our first ski trips,
right.
I mentioned, okay, let's pack the chairs and we'll pack a lunch. And, at lunch, we'll go down and we'll get the chairs out and we'll just sit. And he was like, what? Helen, it's negative 10 degrees outside. We don't do that. And it was the first time really I had started having lunch inside the lodge. I hadn't
Oh,
really experienced that before. So,
so Lake Tahoe. I've never the furthest wet. Well, I've been all the way out to the West Coast, but not in the wintertime. So I don't know what winter is like around Lake Tahoe, the Lake Tahoe area. So is it rather warm?
it's not warm, but it's certainly warm enough to sit at your car for 30 minutes, and maybe you have your shell on, or if it's warmer, you might go down a layer. But for the most part, you can be, hands-free, gloves off, lots of sunscreen, because it is beautiful bluebird sky
Okay.
every day when it's not snowing. So
See, I'm the type of guy where the cold doesn't bother me too much, so I can sit outside at -10 and have lunch. I don't have a problem with that.
I love that. Yes, a true. Yeah, that's that East Coast. Yeah, northern. The
Yeah,
Canadian.
born of ice or born from ice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, my West Coast blood has taken some time to adjust to
Oh, and so have you lived in the East a long time?
I believe I've been out here 8.5 years.
Oh, okay.
And we just recently actually moved up to the Catskills on the first day of winter of last year. This was our kind of our I've heard you talk about your cottage.
Yes.
So this was kind of our our home where we could go and ski during the winter or visit during the summer, but now we're here full time.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Prepping for retirement.
Yes, well, thankfully my husband was able to retire. So I work from home, but
Right.
he that's what I work remotely. So we were able and fortunate to be able to come up here.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Are you new into retirement? I was
No.
trying to catch up on a few podcasts.
No.
I know you were a middle school PE teacher, right?
Yeah, well, I actually had the best job for about half my career. I was a woodworking and a phys ed teacher.
Oh, wow.
So the most of the kids liked my subjects.
Yeah.
And then later in my career, the smart people at the board gave me other topics to teach, and
Okay.
the science and the math that went with my phys ed degree and carpentry. And
Okay.
so I just made the most of it. And, I was far enough along in my career. I was like, oh, I got to teach English.
Right.
But I bared it for 7 years and I had lots of fun. And I had kids pull some stuff on me that I told them that they should, I always told them, don't get rid of your assignments. Keep them, because even though you wrote them in grade 8, they're an introduction to something that you can use further on in life. You just have to add to it, make it more sophisticated and that sort of stuff. So towards the end of 1 year, I was reading these 2 assignments and I was like, those buggers, they did that to me. So I said, you know what? That's the most important thing to learn and I'm glad that they learned. It was awesome. I enjoyed that they pulled that on me.
They listened and applied, which is very impressive.
Yes, that's right. Especially for 13, 14-year-olds.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I've been retired since 2018, so it's...
Okay. Oh, you're well into it. You've adjusted. Are you enjoying retirement?
Yeah, I am. And I didn't have to adjust. I tell people that teachers I did anyways, practice retirement every year for 2 months.
During the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a few years where I was able to do what I needed to do without having children. And then I think I may have been 3 years into my career when my first daughter came along. Yeah. So.
And are all of your kids up in Canada as well?
They are. Yep. One lives in what I call South Detroit, which is Windsor,
Okay.
Windsor, Canada.
Okay.
It's the only
Okay.
Canadian city that's directly south of an American city.
Yes, I feel like that is a great answer to remember for Jeopardy. I love little
It
fun
is.
facts.
It is I've
Yes.
seen that question on
Yes,
Jeopardy.
I feel like I've heard it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Windsor, is that what you said? Windsor?
Yeah. She actually lives south of Windsor, on the Detroit River, almost where it goes into Lake Erie.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is freaking hot down there in the summer. Oh my
And I'm
goodness.
sure humid as well.
Yes. Yeah. Now, is it humid where you are during the
It
summer?
is. Yes. Thankfully, again, up here in the Catskills, it's certainly better than being in the city. But there is humidity. I'm grateful that I don't mind it at all. Yeah, I didn't grow up with humidity. It's very, very
Right.
dry in the Sierra Nevadas. And so for me, it's almost just like a new weather pattern. And I love, love, love the heat and being warm. And so in my mind, it's just okay, I'll bear the humidity.
Yeah, I don't recall as a child having the oppressive humidity. That's a new thing to climate around here.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And you guys, so you all, I mean, you're right on the lake, your home, right? So I'm sure
Yes.
that also helps.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, we get a nice breeze off of Lake Ontario. Yeah, but down in Windsor area, they don't get a nice cooling breeze off of Lake Erie because
Right.
it's like a bathtub. It's so shallow.
right.
Yeah. So anyway, so from your photos that you sent me that I'm going to be using, I saw the photo from Heavenly, so I had to do a little research to find out where Heavenly was, and so it's right on the Nevada-California border. No, Nevada-Utah border.
Yes. No, yeah, Nevada-California border. So Lake Tahoe, actually, the lake splits across both states as well.
Right.
And Heavenly sits right at the southern end of the lake in South Lake Tahoe, which is where I grew up. And so, yeah, Heavenly has the ski area on both sides of
Oh, nice.
kind of the fall line of that Sierra Nevada, like the eastern side
Yep.
of the mountains. And I grew up there. My dad actually was this ski patroller for 30 years there.
Wow.
And so that was our home mountain. That's where I learned to ski with my parents. And it will always, 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 be my favorite mountain. No, I hope to ski all over the world, but
Right.
it holds a very special
Yes.
place in my heart. So
Yeah, that's like our place in Owl's Head. Not that I grew up skiing a whole lot there, but it's.
But I was looking at it, and it's also beautiful because it seems like when you are skiing, you can also have the view of the lake.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, and that is one of my favorite parts about Heavenly as well. There are a few other mountains along the lake that also have that, but to ski and to look down and just see the beautiful blue water is.
Yes. Yeah, we just have ice.
Yes, well, right. Yours freezes. Ours happens to be,
That's
the
right.
second biggest alpine lake in the world.
Oh,
But,
is it? Wow.
yeah, I think Lake Baikal in Russia is the deepest, and then
Right.
Lake Tahoe. So,
Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't know that. I like learning these facts.
yeah, yes. Oh, yes. I love
Yeah.
I love
That as my wife would say, nothing towards you. She says, yeah, that's that useless shit that, like, when are you going to use that?
You're going to use that when you're watching Jeopardy or
Yeah.
playing trivia.
and she asks me, how did you know that? Because I learn stuff all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you grew up in Heavenly, and you skied there all of your life, I guess.
Yeah.
And now you're in the East, in the Catskills. Has Telemark been a recent acquisition to your skill set?
Yes, it has.
Oh,
So,
okay.
when I moved out here, we started doing weekend trips. My husband is from the East Coast. He's from New York. And so he was very accustomed to the weekend trips up to Vermont or
Right.
New Hampshire or even the Catskills. And that was a mental adjustment for me. Again, very grateful that I had those opportunities, but I was certainly more used to driving 8 minutes on a whim for a few runs and then going back to whatever else I was doing
Right.
that day. And so We started skiing out here for a couple of years, and I had always had tele skiing kind of in the back of my mind. I knew people growing up on patrol with my dad who tele skied, and I was always drawn to it, but loved alpine skiing and never kind of felt the urge to transition.
Right.
And after a few years out here skiing the ice,
Yes.
and a little less steep,
Yes.
I took that as the opportunity to say, I want to keep skiing. I want to be outside. I want to be on the snow. What is going to get me excited about skiing again?
Right.
And so that's when I decided to embark on my tele journey.
That's cool.
And, haven't really gone back. This past season was my first season only on teles. I did not ski my alpine skis at all. The season before, I had done kind of half and half,
right,
where I would maybe alpine ski a little bit, then take some tele turns, then maybe some more alpine. But this year felt like my true transition.
So how many years have you been telemark skiing? Just a few?
Yeah, my second. So this was my second full season, and
cool.
My husband had bought me a pair of used K2 She Devils. I had to go back and look at them maybe three years ago. And I went out a few times and was very quickly humbled, which is, one of the reasons I like to encourage people to try it.
Yes.
And then 2 seasons ago, Eric Fay from Telemark Down hosts, like he does his, his kind of road trip tour.
Yep.
And I stopped by the tent and was very lucky to meet kind of like my two mentors and ski instructors now, who took me out and I demoed some skis.
May I ask who they are?
Oh, yes. So I went out with this couple, Sean and Kateri. And Sean, I believe you can find on Instagram. I think he's Telly Fever.
Okay.
And he is alongside Kateri, his wife. They are the best instructors, friends I could have asked for to teach me this new lifestyle, this new way of approaching the world and skiing. And they were so patient and kind and encouraging from the first moment, from the first run. I went out with Kateri and I didn't feel, I felt comfortable. I felt supported by them. And at the end, she gave me this huge hug, and I'm a big hugger.
Oh, yes.
Of course, when appropriate. And it was, just like a tight hug, a long hug. And I felt like, okay, these are, I want to spend more time with these people, and I want to get better. And so I owe, such a great intro to telling to Sean and Kateri. And then our group, had grown. We have a few others, Julie and Bernie as well, and our friend Paul. And
And this all happened at Bel Air?
This all happened at Bel Air.
Oh, nice.
Not this current season that just ended, but the season before.
Yes.
And we just, built our group and would meet up in the morning and take a few runs, and everybody is willing to give tips and tricks, but not overwhelming. And there's no pressure. It's just a true love for the sport. And I'm very grateful to be in a group of individuals who see it that way. So
that's my mantra when I used to teach, and I still help people, is miles and smiles.
Miles and smiles. Yes.
Yeah.
I really love that, because like I said, the reason I got into tele skiing is because I wanted to fall back in love with skiing.
Right.
And through kind of, the miles and smiles, I've been able to do that. And I'm happy to report that I am back to being excited about skiing and love making the progress and being humbled.
Yeah.
Very, very humbling as an adult to learn something new.
Yeah.
Which I think is another reason why I love it even more.
Right. Yeah. You know what? Even, everybody gets humbled in any of the sports, but I tell you, when you don't have that heel attached, you literally go ass over tea kettle.
Yes. Yes. And to fall on my skis, I was, I am a great alpine skier and I hadn't fallen in a long time.
Right.
And to persevere through that and to fall in front of your friends, in front of people you're wanting to become a part of your life,
Right.
and to get up and have them cheer you on. And it's just very rewarding. And, like I feel like my heart rate increased because it makes me so excited that
Right.
I've
Yeah.
had those moments.
Yeah. My personal thing is if I'm not falling, I'm not trying.
Yes,
Like
exactly. Yes.
I
And it is true. You have to push through the fear. I think if you're not falling, you're staying behind that fear.
yeah.
And, if you can persevere through it, yes, you might still fall, but then you get to that edge of like, okay, what is it like to be on one edge on two skis, right?
Yes.
And so
I know I fall a lot.
That's great. Me too.
My friends and the listeners know, they've heard me. I'm a large organism, so graceful,
yes.
graceful falling is not in my mantra. But I've learned, and as a phys ed teacher, it's unfortunate that they got rid of gymnastics because teaching a kid to tumble is so important. My granddaughter, I don't know where she learned this, but she's learning to do front rolls and that sort of stuff. And most parents would have their child shy away from doing that if they're not doing it correctly. But I was watching what she was doing, and she's doing it properly. And, tumbling, when you're flying through the air like I've done sometimes, tuck and roll is very important.
Tuck and roll.
Yeah, very important skill.
Protect your head.
Yep. Yeah.
I agree. Very important. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not falling, you're not trying. I like it.
Yeah.
And I also heard, I wrote it down actually, your acronym for FAIL.
Yes.
First attempt in learning. I was, when I was listening to a podcast that, I was doing it while working, and I wrote it out because I love that.
I think in my teaching career, that's my most favorite saying I came across.
Yes.
That I had some things up in my class. I've had that in another podcast, and I say it to some people too. It's like, as I've acquired my wisdom, which you can tell by the white on my chin.
You're wise. You're
yes.
wise.
And I always say, what is it? Speed has 5 letters, so does death. Slow has 4 letters, so does life.
I love that. Yeah. Yes.
But that's great. You go slow as you're acquiring your skills so that you can build that muscle memory and learn. This is the phys ed teacher coming out in me.
Yes.
Getting the kinesthetic awareness of what you're doing. Do it slowly and build it slowly so that later on you can go fast and
a little faster
and be on that edge.
Yes. Yes. I'm slow. I would say I'm very slowly working up to going a little bit faster. I truly love making like very slow, methodical turns, which often means I'm the last one down in the group. But again, like I said, the group of people I'm with don't seem to mind.
I'm gonna say, from all the talking to that I've had with Telemark skiers, we're always searching for that turn, that feeling, that surfy, whatever it is, zen feeling. And it was, I said it in maybe 1 or 2 other podcasts after COVID, and the ski hills up here started opening up, and I think we missed the 2021 season, and then we did the 21-22 season, got back to Owl's Head. We always go and warm up on this they're some of my favorite runs. They're excellent runs to teach on, and I can't wait to take my grandchildren there.
Yeah.
And my knees were screaming or my thighs were screaming at me saying, what the hell are you doing? But the second run there, they're the best. It's the best run I ever had. I was like, okay, my season can be finished now. I'm there. Right. The second run of the season, I had achieved a full run that was so nice.
Yep. Yeah. And I heard you say surfing, which is exactly what Sean says to me. We also have like a great run for learning and for just making turns that build your confidence. And the snow is usually amazing. And he's like, Helen, think about surfing, like think about that feeling. And it's not even just how I feel in my skis. I kind of like let my body be less tense, right? Which then translates to a better turn, and you're just, I don't, nobody's gonna be able to see me, but I'm swaying back and forth, right? And so that's how I feel when I make those great turns that you're talking about. You're surfing, you're not, as fast, going as fast, but you still have some good speed that you can connect the turns. And
well, that's I don't know how I got to this year, but I was going down this one run and I had that feeling, and I was like, that fluid movement, and all I could equate it to, because I grew up fishing, were like salmon or rainbow trout going up the river, and how fluid they move against the current.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great visual, because you can see kind of the current above and you can see them navigating below.
Yeah, and it's just it's like a sine wave in physics.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, that's very cool. So so your husband got you some skis, and I hope he got you the boots at the same time, or did you have to go searching for boots? Okay.
So, yes, he got me some boots as well. And
did you seek some instruction before you went out to hook up with, or did you do it yourself?
Did not.
Okay.
And I don't know, perhaps ego. I just thought, like, I'm just going to put them on. It'll be fine. And I remember, I believe the first run I ever took, I was doing it the opposite way. So and I got down to the bottom, and I was by myself, thankfully, but you're still like a little embarrassed. How do you do this? And I took my skis off and was like, okay, that's just my first run. And then I remember I went back and was like, I should probably read up on this and maybe watch somebody. And that's when I learned, like, oh, I believe I was doing it incorrectly.
Right.
But then thankfully, once I connected with Sean and Kateri and was able to watch, I was able to correct those first few turns. And to this day, I love, some of my best turns will be if I am thinking less. So I can follow somebody. And if I can just tell my brain, turn when they turn, and I'm not maybe thinking about the 7 different things I should be doing with my toes and the pressure, I can make great turns. But yes, to your question, yeah, I was on those K2s that first season with the boots, with the 75 millimeter. I wrote it down. G3 Targas. Yes. And
I know lots of people like to trash them, but you know what? They're an awesome.
I resisted switching to NTN. So I skied that year I met Sean and Kateri. Those were the skis I skied, and they were apparently shot, and just like I was exhausted at the end of a run because they were pretty well used, we'll say.
Yes.
And I was doing a lot more work. And then this past year, I made it out to Eric's shop, Telemark, down in New Hampshire. We made the trip because I just wanted to see his space, to feel kind of like the love for the sport that I'd heard about in his shop, and in his like skill and passion for it. And so I was able to, now I am skiing on a brand new pair of skis on the Summit Cone Outcasts.
Okay.
And I have the 22 design Outlaws on there. And then the boots are the Crispy Evos. Sorry, I am not good with things like this. I had never really paid attention to my, like I would, my goggles would be what my dad would find under the chairlift, reduce, reuse, recycle. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. But, that's, what, it's like me, say for my bicycle, I have a very nice touring bicycle. People will ask me things. I was like, I don't know. It works, man. I do know, a little more about my ski equipment.
Yes.
But my size, it doesn't matter what it is. I only have one pair of skis that don't really respond to me, but they're a gigantic World Cup ski.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a 30-meter radius. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Sometimes I feel silly for not. It's not that I don't want to pay attention, and not that I don't think that like gear is, better gear and upgrades are good.
Yeah.
It just was never really part of my skiing experience.
Right.
But I am very, very happy with my skis. And And I even got I'm very excited about my grass sticks poles. Again,
Oh,
I had
okay.
never
Yeah.
bought new poles. I had like maybe one set of poles at a movie, a ski movie showing. And so
Right.
it was fun to get those, and been loving it. So
No, that's awesome. So,
yeah.
the group that you're trying to get
Time to
more
grow.
women out and skiing together. It was nice when you see a group of telemark skiers, because Jay Peak is near and dear to my heart. And
Yes.
2 weekends ago, they were open, and with all the photos, I was like, "Whoa, man!" The jet was taken over by tele skiers. It was crazy, all the
Oh,
photos of
really?
telemark skiers. Yeah.
Oh, oh, that's great.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, give us some information. What was your impetus to try to get more women involved?
Yeah. So credit to again Sean and Kateri, and I think just even our group, but Sean had mentioned and Kateri that on Instagram, which I'm relatively new to, that that there were other groups of women out there that were getting together, and we just started talking about the idea of bringing women in the Catskills together who telly, and we maybe seen a few from the chair, and maybe they're just up for the weekend, or they're perhaps at other mountains,
Right.
but our goal is to, when you can, there's no pressure, there's no sign up. It's just if you're in the area
Yep.
and you want to get together and have a ladies run, you can join for as long as you want. You could stay for the day. And to just build community among the women in Telemark for the Catskills.
That's awesome.
And I keep saying it, but I just owe so much to Kateri, and I'm certainly not at a place where I can start teaching people how to telly, but I want to be able to provide that support that she gave me, and
Yes.
the understanding for somebody, whether you're brand new and just want to try, like, we've got a pair of skis, we can, hook you up for a day. Maybe you're excited, or maybe come and just at least know somebody's going to be there for the demo day.
Right.
And we just, I think it was this past winter when we started posting, and so we've had a few kind of just put it out there meetups, and thankfully other friends that we know have shown up, and I actually have connected with a few people just on Instagram, messaging back and
Right.
forth, women who are learning to telly, or who already telly, maybe they're a little bit further away and are excited at the opportunity. And so I'm hoping next winter, if I can get my shit together, I will kind of be a little bit more organized and kind of have a consistent schedule and opportunity for people to meet up, because I recognize they're busy, but just want to help create that space.
Yeah.
And it's been really nice again, with Instagram. I didn't realize there's this community out there, and so if I go out west, perhaps I might reach out to people who are in a West Coast group and say,
Exactly.
hey, visiting, can we link up just for a run?
Yes.
Because that energy, when you're getting together to do something you all love,
Yeah.
I think reverberates throughout the group, and would just love
I know. I
to.
think that's how I kind of got into the social media space. Josh
Yeah.
Madsen was out on a tour with his punk rock band, going to a concert just
Okay.
east of Ottawa, and
Yes.
he was launching Free Heel Life, and
Okay.
he put some stickers up in a variety of places on his travels, and he said, "Hey, if you find one of these stickers," and he had a photo of it, and
Okay.
and the environs around it.
Yeah.
Take a photo of yourself, send it to me, and I'll send you some swag. So as he's trucking on through Ottawa, he goes, "Nobody's gonna find this." And I happen to
Right.
be driving by a week later, and I looked at the photo, and I was like, "I think
I
that's the
think.
Byward Market." So on my way up to Mont Tremblant to visit a friend, and this was in the summertime, I parked. I walked down one side of the road of the Byward Market, and I was like, "Okay, there's nothing here like this." I went to the other side, and I'm standing around looking for these. They kind of look like a half a marine bell, like how they're kind of triangular, sort of.
Yes, I should probably Google it, but keep
Oh yeah.
describing.
Anyway, so and I turned around, and I went, "Oh, they're smaller than I thought," and I was like, oh, there's the sticker right there. It was like I stopped 2 feet away from it. So I
Yeah.
did all that, sent him, and you know, he and I have been great friends ever since. But
And what a great way to connect, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that I've done the same sort of thing in my travels. I'll stick stickers places, and you know, if somebody finds them when I'm in your neighborhood next, I'll buy you a beer.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, and it's it's even an unspoken connection to a community when you see, when I see anything related to Telly, I'm like, oh, one of my people were here. You
right?
just, if somebody's, for your heel, you feel that connection,
Yes.
especially stickers. I love a good sticker.
Yeah.
So
I'll send
yes,
you. I'll send you some.
oh, please. Yes. I can never decide where to put them. So I have a very large box of them.
Oh, see,
But
I've bought a new helmet, but I'm not so fond of it. But that's how it started.
oh, I really like it. And I like the color.
Yeah, but I prefer my old helmet, and everybody knows me with my old helmet.
I think I was listening, yes, to one of your episodes, and you had been talking about that. It is hard when you switch up, helmet or jacket, right?
Yeah,
but it is important. I am big on that. Is our I'm certainly not big on following rules, despite that being my career, but I have a firm stance on wearing a helmet for skiing. Having my dad been in patrol and my mom an ER nurse.
Okay.
Reach that safety is no accident,
That's
and
right.
it doesn't take anything to put a helmet on. So I ask that anybody who joined the group wear a helmet.
There's this old guy where we ski, and it doesn't matter the temperature. He shows up in a ball cap. I was like, what? Are you nuts? Like, I don't have any insulation on my head.
Right.
So I love my helmets for keeping me warm. I don't like them so much when it's really warm out, because I'm dripping wet from them.
Right.
But So how many times did you meet or have a little gathering this past year?
I think we did 3 official meetups and posts. I think one time one time we had kind of a friend of a friend join, and then the couple, Julie and Bernie, Julie and I did some just run solo, just as ladies, and kind of worked on a few drills. And again, just hyping each other up and getting to know one another, and take those slow, mellow runs that sometimes us ladies can have a different speed than the gentlemen in the group. And so I think it's great for the boys to kind of go off and maybe go a little bit quicker.
Right.
Not to say that women don't go fast. Women go plenty fast.
Yes.
But if you want to take a few slow laps, we were able to do that. So I believe 3 times, and official times. It was, if we saw anybody telemarking at Bel Air, we would be hooting and hollering and gather them and bring them into the group.
Right.
But I'll have to, when Kateri and I connect again at the end of next fall, we'll hopefully put together some time on when we want to really get the group out. And
well, if you send me the dates, or if you post them on your Instagram,
yes,
I'll put it out there also, because that's what the Skippy Report has all become, is just Telemark Skiing. So yeah. And there's also a Facebook page I decided to figure out how to do.
Oh, okay.
So there's a Skippy Report Facebook page. So it's
okay. I will tell, my husband has Facebook, so I'll tell him to take a look and get on there.
So where do people go to find information about the Women Telemark Skiing Group?
It's a great question, and I don't even remember. Well, let me start.
I just know that it's on Telly Helen. That's all I see it on.
Yes, Telly Helly. So I have the Instagram. It's Telly Helly, and then it's _ Ski Helen B, because I think just the regular Telly Helly had been taken. But that's where I am on Instagram, and I think that's the only place I'm at right now. Again, somewhat new to getting back into social media. So that's where I'm starting.
Right.
But maybe
that's
I can
awesome.
get some Gen Z friends. They can help me with a few
man.
TikToks.
I'm an old guy.
I'm trying.
That's good.
But but so we're there. And then again, following Telly Fever, who is Sean,
Right.
he is really great about, posting good events,
Yeah.
also really good on the Telly Fest at Plattekill at Bel Air. He also sees Camelback. So he is really great at getting community together and posting, anything that will happen.
Where's Camelback?
Oh goodness.
Is that in Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
yes.
so my friend Justin was just skiing. They're still open.
They're still open, yes, and they have a big Telly community.
Oh, do they?
Yes, I think a lot of people maybe from the Pennsylvania area, the Maryland, all the way down to Virginia can go up. Even a lot of people from New York City go out toward Pennsylvania. I have not skied Camelback yet,
Right.
but I believe Sean got his, that's like the closest mountain to him, to Sean and Kateri. And so I've heard, again, a small mountain, great vibes, and they're still open. So with a lot of snow, Yes, there are places that had insane amounts of snow. I know, like Jay Peak led everybody in their snow this year. Yes.
Yeah, and like I've said, the mountain I ski might be 10 miles as the crow flies, and we get half the snow. Right. We get half the snow that Jay gets.
Wow.
Because of the J cloud.
That's just because of the weather pattern dipping down?
It's mostly the way J Peak has been formed. Do you know what a cirque is?
No.
So it's kind of a curve in a mountain.
Okay, a cirque. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I was going to say? Crater Lake, and I think that's what.
Yes, I do. I went to school in Oregon.
Yeah, so if it's like that, but say half of that crater is gone. That's kind of like what a cirque is in my mind. Okay. And so what happens is, as the weather comes across the Champlain Valley from the Adirondacks to the Green Mountains, and then it hits J Peak, goes up and over, the shape of it creates a vortex. And so the J cloud, actually, I have pictures of the J cloud, circles back and dumps twice as much or 3 times as much snow as the local area.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then by the time it kind of comes up more toward you, it's only the last little drips.
Yeah. And we're north, so it probably follows a different track, because clouds will, this is my science teacher coming out with me, out of me. Clouds will hit and move to the path of least resistance, and there's a valley, the Missisquoi River Valley, just to the north of J Peak. So it'll sneak in there and just dump the normal amount of snow.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's great that Camelback is still open. And I believe there's a couple more. There's a couple in Quebec that may still be open. One in the Laurentians. I can't remember what the other one was. And then you have the few that are in the Northeast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Killington is still open, but I know they had a pretty late weekend and they were getting everybody together.
Yes.
Maybe a few weekends ago.
Yeah, I've skied J Peak on Memorial Day, or the weekend before Memorial Day. They weren't open, but you just ski in the state park
they
area.
Were for you.
Yeah, you just have to hike up and ski.
Yeah, even after Bel Air closed, there was a good amount of snow on 1 or 2 of the runs, and I believe some people were able to hustle their way up and take a few turns coming down. But so I'm excited for, I love ski season, but I love all of the other seasons as well. So I'm happy to have spring here and transition into, fun summer activities. Do you guys have any fun plans for this summer coming up?
Yeah, we're cyclists and paddlers. And I discovered a guy on YouTube, and he does rail trails in Eastern Ontario that I didn't know existed. And I said to my wife, because we have a rather large fifth wheel, and I said, we should take our fifth wheel, and we belong to a group called Harvest Host Boondockers Welcome, which used to be 2 separate organizations, but Harvest Host bought it. And so you pay into it, and Harvest Host is when you're traveling across the country, and instead of staying at a KOA at like $70 US a night, or staying in a Walmart parking lot, there are businesses like distilleries, vineyards, breweries. Their parking lots are empty at night, so they'll allow you to park overnight with with the expectation that you patronize the
Of
business.
course.
Yeah.
That's great. That I actually really like that business model.
Yeah. And then there's the other section, which is called Boondockers Welcome, where it's just individuals who have property and they travel also, and they open up their property to allow people to stay overnight. So when I turned 60, we went to Bardstown, Kentucky to go to a bourbon festival, and we stayed at a KOA there. But when we went to Nashville, we stayed with another couple at this people's home out in a field. We didn't even see their home. They came down, we met, and that sort of stuff. We stayed there for 3 nights. It didn't cost us anything.
That's great.
Yeah. So there's some places that we've looked. I was a little disappointed because I couldn't find the map that has all the rail trails, but it was buried in the layers of a website, and I found it.
Okay.
So now, and then so we kind of overlaid that map with the Boondockers Welcome map. So we can go out, I guess, most of August, because we're now going to the cottage with the grandchildren, which wasn't in the plans, but that'll be July. And then, so yeah, in August that we're going to do that. And I think my wife has a wedding in June, early June, for a girlfriend. My wife's an officiant. And,
okay, great.
And so we found a Boondockers place to stay at, and there's some rail trails there. So we're going to go up for 4 days and explore. So yeah, we'll do that. And then we, the trailer is a toy hauler. So we put our bicycles and our paddle boards in the back there.
That's great. And on the rail trail, are you doing a gravel bike? So our rail trail here is like a perfect spot for kind of a gravel bike.
Yep.
I mean, it's flat enough. It could be any bike, but.
Well, I have a custom built touring bike that's set up like a gravel bike well before gravel bikes were invented. So, yeah, because Sean and I also ride tandem. And so this company from Oregon, they take the steel, the size of the steel and the size of the wheels, and make a single.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my bike's a little heavier. I don't care.
Okay.
It's steel. Most bicycles have 32 spokes, 28 spokes. I have 40.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can carry heavy loads. So and I run big tires on it so that I can go anywhere with it.
Okay.
And then my wife has a road bike, and I was like, okay, if we're going to do this, and I've put the max size tire on, but it's not big enough really for rail trails. And they're kind of like gravelly. And so I didn't know this, but on Facebook Marketplace, I found a bike locally, and it's from a former student of mine, and it was like brand new, and it was aluminum and $300. I was like, yeah, I can put bigger tires on that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So besides going to the cottage for a few weeks, because we share it with my family, and then doing the cycling and that sort of stuff, and gardening. We grow a lot of our own food.
Wow. Vegetables?
Yes.
Herbs? Any fruits?
Well, tomatoes are fruit, right? So that's the only fruit. But yeah, it's mostly vegetables. It's not a gigantic garden, but we can grow enough food that could feed 4 families.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty intensive gardening that we do.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So, and it was pretty good when my daughter lived where we used to have our garden, because she kept chickens, and she wanted to get into growing meat chickens, and it was quite the setup. And then have a friend that I get my organic beef from. So almost all of our food, we always knew where it came from and how it was treated, and which is an important thing. Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. I have not jumped into the gardening. However, I recently bought a piece of property that has some great opportunities there.
Nice.
And so perhaps not this summer, but next I may attempt at it. But I agree. We're fortunate we have a CSA down here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's the very first podcast that I did was a CS.
Really?
Yeah, there's a young couple just to the north of us up on the ridge, and I was like, CSA, what the heck's a CSA? I wanted to learn about it, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're I've been really, again, I agree. I like to know where my food is coming from, and if I can get it closer to home, it's also
Right.
something I want to support. And so our CSA, I think it's called the 607. It's, just a few counties around us.
Is
And
that your area code?
um that is a good question. I don't know. I
Oh,
kept my
okay.
number from Tahoe to,
Oh,
be my Cali number, but I wonder what the area code. I think actually the area code up here is maybe 815.
oh, okay.
But I should look into where the 607 comes from. That's a
Yeah,
great question.
yeah.
Maybe for good local trivia. We also do local trivia,
Ah,
not just
okay.
Jeopardy. So I'll look into that. But yeah, it's a great CSA, and they just had a fall share and a spring share, and I'm looking forward to our summer share.
Nice.
Um,
That's how
but
we
it's
got into it. We found out I didn't know what a CSA was. So if people are
great.
listening, community supported agriculture.
Yes,
And
yes, and
you give the
we keep on.
farmers the seed money for them to buy their seed and get it in the ground, and then as the season
And
grows, you reap the benefits.
exactly. And to be there and support the farmers if it's a bad season and still
Yes.
be able to support them. Um, which I think is very important, especially up here. We have a lot of small local farms, which are great,
Yes.
and the food is absolutely delicious. And cooking, it helps get me into cooking and
Okay.
to learn about different vegetables that I had never heard of or eaten, and then learned how to cook them has
Right.
been kind of a new fun
Yeah, I
hobby.
know when you get out of the urban setting, you
Yes.
realize all this sort of stuff, right? I watched
Right. And
a video about desserts that have now they said it disappeared. They were Canadian desserts, and I was like, nah, they didn't disappear. Like, and so as my wife and I were listening to this list of 25, it's like we've had that, we've had that. That hasn't
oh,
disappeared. Yeah, it's like
what are these alleged
well,
disappearances?
and it, what it is I think because we talked about why this video came out, and I think it was they said mostly because people stopped cooking, and I think people stopped cooking when there was a need for two incomes to live
Okay, right.
comfortably.
Both are going out and coming back.
Yeah, where when
Yeah.
you and I were growing up, there was really, my mom stayed home and she cooked and that sort of stuff. But so, for example, the number one dessert, not too many people make it, are butter tarts that we have up here.
I've never heard of it. A butter tart? Hold on, let me write it down so after our chat I can look it up. Okay, butter tart. I mean, we have local fresh butter here, which I have become
Oh,
very excited about.
I don't know. My wife has made them a couple of times, but we have one of the best butter tart makers in Canada, like less than 3 miles, maybe 2 miles from my house. So, we patronize them. And,
Yes.
but it's a very runny pastry. It's open. And some people will put rum in it. Some people will put raisins in it. And as you're
Yes.
biting and eating it, it's just like running all over it.
Drippy.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, it sounds
Yeah,
delicious.
and then some of the other ones, I can't remember them. They're definitely East Coast ones. And I was like, what? Like, we didn't have a whole lot growing up, and I know
Right.
some desserts I had was a slice of bread with butter and molasses on it.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
and then there were some. I learned I didn't know there was an actual difference between apple brown Betty and apple crumble.
I've never heard of apple brown Betty. I've had an apple crumble before, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
write this one down
yeah,
too.
so I think apple brown Betty is made with breadcrumbs as a crust
Okay.
because they
Yes.
were
Okay.
stale. Yeah, so a lot of this was
Hey,
the women of the family made do. It's like, okay, what are we gonna have for dessert, or what are
right.
we gonna eat? It's like you just put everything together, right?
Right. That is the one cooking I am actually good at, that kitchen sink option.
Right. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was it was really interesting about all the different types of desserts and stuff like that that are regional. For mine, we call it tacto souk. So it's sweet tart, which is some people call it sugar pie, which I guess you guys call it fly pie or shoe fly pie.
I've heard of shoe fly pie, but I've not.
So it was a sugar pie, I believe, that was cooked in the South, and women would put the pies on the window sash to cool down. And because it was
Ooh,
sugar, flies would be
yes.
attracted to it. And it's like, oh, shoe fly, shoe fly. That's what I know as shoe fly
Okay,
pie.
I like that.
But here in the north, we don't use as that type of processed sugar. We use maple syrup.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's so good. So I don't know if they have anything like that in the Northeast because it's a big maple producer.
Right. Yes,
It'd
yeah.
be interesting.
Even there was lots of tapping around here. We have lots of maple trees and some great maple syrup, which is a delightful treat being out here on the east.
Now you see you call it a treat. I eat maple syrup
right.
every day.
Well, it's actually, I have come around. I've always loved maple syrup, but we now try to use maple syrup as our sweetener. Like, we have oatmeal in the morning.
Yep.
And just a little dabble to you, just do a little to sweeten it up. And it is wonderful.
I get it. It goes in my coffee every morning.
Oh, I've never done that.
Yeah. And then in the, recently we started having cappuccinos, I think, in the afternoon.
Right, okay.
And so I make a maple cappuccino.
Delicious.
Yeah. So
now, have you ever made your own maple syrup?
I had an uncle who we had 4,000 taps. So I would spend a significant amount of my time in the bush, tapping trees. And we did have a demonstration area that had 300 buckets. So in Quebec, I don't know what sugaring season is like in Vermont, but it's a huge thing. So my dad worked at a store like Sears. It was called Eaton's. And he would take clients out and they'd go out, leave Montreal, go out into the rural settings, and there are sugar bushes that have restaurants. And you go there and because our schools all did it too. We would all go out to this place called Mont Saint Gregoire and we'd hike the mountain. We'd get a demonstration of how maple syrup is made. We'd have the taffy on the snow. And then we would have lunch, would be bacon, eggs, sausages, pancakes, crepes, all that stuff. And the whole school would be in this one eating area. Right. So I don't know if Vermont has something like that, but maple season, sugaring season is a big thing in Quebec.
Right. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. And to do the field trip with the kids and the school.
Yes.
Get them out there and appreciate it and to see the process. That's great.
Yes. Yeah. So it's, so is there a sugaring season? You guys have decent maple bushes down where you are?
I believe there is. We have two. I know Roxbury Mountain Maple is probably the closest maple farm that we have. I know there are little ones, like all along the road, you can find little farm stands with just
okay. Yeah. So you have decent. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I love seeing, we love a good drive around and to see all of the maple taps, kind of like into you as you drive and you can see them into the woods. And sometimes if you're just at the right time and the sap is flowing, there's a little crystallization and you can see it like throughout the woods and it's just beautiful.
So you're looking at it. I experienced it from a different when we from
the hard work.
Well, no, not really. But this is a sound of spring for me, and any sugar maker will know this. Is that once you empty the buckets, and if it was to freeze, when you get up in the morning and you go out into the bush, and it's starting to get above zero, you hear the little tink, tink, tink of the drops, fresh drops hitting the bottom of the bucket. You get to hear the whole forest. Tink, 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 tink. Wow. Yeah, that's I
have not heard that yet, but now
that's I think just producers would hear that, and that's something that is
yeah. But it's great.
That's great. That's cool. So your plans for this winter with your women get-togethers, we'll get information on that when it comes out, and I'll help put it out. And people can find you mostly on Instagram if you want to share your handle again.
Yes, it is Telly Helly And then I believe that I'm opening Instagram again. And then I believe there's an underscore ski Helen B.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at, and people can follow. I don't know if I'll post during the summer. I do have a few. We try to get some footage on the GoPro, my husband,
Yeah.
but I have yet to sit down and look through that. But so I think I have a few pictures and some footage of the group skiing that will keep us excited throughout the summer hot, humid days.
Yes.
And then, come November, if we all do our snow dances correctly with some good funky moves, hopefully we'll have a good early start to the ski season.
Yeah,
again.
we had a nice early start this year, consistent early.
Yes, we skied before Thanksgiving, which was great, and exactly like you said, consistent. It was, we started skiing and then we were able to ski, if we every single weekend after that. But I'm hoping that we have another great winter like that.
Oh, I hope so too. I hope so
on
too.
the ground.
Yeah.
Throughout the winter. But yeah, we'll be on there. And I just, to all the telly ladies in the Catskills, it can be for any skill. It could be your first day on skis, and maybe you just want to, stay on the flat ground and move about with your heel free and feel it. Or if you want to take a run, there's no required skill level. It's just to get together and to grow our community and be happy and excited for one another and for the sport.
And people must not forget that you can ski alpine style on your Telemark stuff.
Yes.
You don't have to always Telemark.
Yes. And Sean made that comment to me early on as I was learning. And I appreciate you saying it now, because it was such a relief to, sometimes you're tired, or perhaps you just had a turn and you're a little flustered or you're scared. I, to this day, and always will still make alpine turns if I just want to, make some alpine turns. You don't have to make a telly turn every time, and you can do it at your own pace. So great.
I think I said this with who did I say this with? I can't remember. That a guy is just kind of at our local hill, joined up with us. We ski similarly, the same amount of time. We eat the same amount of time, and he's a single guy, and so he likes the company, and we have great conversations and stuff. And he skis all sorts of shit, and so do I, but like, I'm really tired. So this year, when as spring was coming, I was like, I'm going to do some alpine turns through all this snow and see what it's like. And I was like, whoa, it's way easier doing it in alpine style than it was like.
Especially when the snow changes, and in the spring when it's a little bit heavier or chunkier. Yes. I agree.
And I understand now what my wife says, with her being a smaller organism, that there's more of a chore for her to charge through that.
Yeah. My husband, who just started telly skiing this past winter, we were reminding him of that as well. Again, it's your safe, the conditions are.
Yeah, it's your safe spot. When I would help people and they were out there for the first time, it's like, yeah, you telly when you can, but you know what? When you don't feel safe, just go back to alpine turns.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I hope we can get to ski together at some point.
Yes, come down to the Catskills. Yeah. We've got some great snow. Hopefully we can come up to Canada. Again, I would love to ski and be able to look down at a lake. I miss that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like I've skied 2 places like that in the East, and there's one more that I need to get out to, and we ski down to the ocean.
Wow. What is that?
Cape Smokey in Cape Breton.
Okay. I'll take a
which
look.
is the northern part of Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got all these things to look up after our combo, which is great.
Yeah.
More fun facts and fun learning.
That's right. So thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out and helping us spread, our message and our opportunity for women to learn and just get together. I'm grateful, and I know our little group is grateful as well.
No, yeah, that's awesome. It's my pleasure, and I want to thank you for taking the initiative to do this, because it takes a lot of energy, and sometimes, because I've done it in the past, you've probably heard, and you know, there's just a few people who are willing to do that type of work, quantity of work,
Yeah.
and you need to be acknowledged for it.
Well, thank you. And again, thank you for helping us, put the message out, and I'll make sure to attempt to be organized enough to get you dates in advance. That is, one of our goals, and kind of just spread the message. And again, if you're down here, or if we want to
Yes.
meet up in the middle, or if anybody wants to meet up in the middle, just reach out, message me on Instagram, and we can plan a little hangout.
So how far is I always forget. I know that the place in New York where all the horses north of Albany, what's it called? Starts with an S.
Oh, Saratoga.
Yeah, how far is Saratoga from you?
Okay, so I believe that is maybe 2 hours from our home. I will be tomorrow. I'm actually, or Saturday, going up to Vermont to visit a friend, and I'll be going up that way. So I just
Oh,
actually
okay.
looked at
All
the
right.
map.
Okay. So that gives me an idea of meetup
Okay,
sort of
yeah.
area or something like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're, if you just go directly south of Saratoga toward Albany, and then you make your way southwest,
Yes.
that's kind of where our little region of the world.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, again, thanks a lot.
So much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah,
and
you also.
And with your family, and hopefully we'll see you on the snow.
For sure.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. Another episode of the Women in Telemark Skiing series here on the Skippy Report. A huge thank you to Helen Burkart for sitting down and sharing the enthusiasm of a new to telemark skiing person who's trying to support women in telemark skiing and other people, and just needed to get her message out there. So thanks for doing this, Helen. And if you're looking to find some people in the Catskill area to ski with, you can find her on Instagram at tellyhelly_skihelenb. So you can find her on Instagram there. And look forward to receiving some information from her this fall about some of the events that she's going to be holding at Bel Air Mountain this coming ski season. So thanks for listening to the Skippy Report. I really appreciate it. And check back later for another episode of the Skippy Report. Peace out.